Becca Timm used to date her brother's friend Denny. 3 years ago, Denny broke up with her to fight in a war. She hasn't seen him since. Becca is now dating a wonderful guy named Doug Carey. He's rich, successful, and he doesn't live in the middle of nowhere. Becca loves Doug, but she's not quite sure if she's over Denny yet. So she lies to Doug and all her family members. She forces her brother to take her along on his guys only hunting trip so she can spend a week with Denny. Becca, if you're putting that much effort into seeing this guy again, I'm pretty sure you're not over him.
Argo Funk Book Review. Argo Funk Book Review.
Denny lives in Virgin River, which is in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice community and all, but there's only one place in town that serves food. Denny is angry to see Becca again. She makes herself angry by remembering when he came back from the war and made a pitiful attempt to reconnect with her. He didn't even buy her apology flowers. The group goes duck hunting. Becca quickly gets bored and spends the rest of the day hiding in the truck. One of the guys flirts with her. This makes Denny so mad he insists on driving Becca back to town. Becca and Denny argue. She orders him to stop the truck right now so she can walk home. She falls out of the truck and breaks her ankle. The doctor says it's a very serious injury. She has to keep her leg elevated at all times. She can't go home because riding in a car or an airplane is dangerous. I'm a book reviewer, not a doctor, but it sounds to me like the broken leg is an excuse to force Becca to be with Denny for a month. Becca needs a roommate to care for her. Her twin brother Rich volunteers to stay. I'm just kidding. Rich doesn't help Becca. It's all on Denny. Becca moves into Denny's apartment above the town's restaurant. Denny reveals breaking up with her was a mistake. He wasn't thinking clearly because his mom just died, and there was a misunderstanding with his father's identity. Becca feels terrible for judging Denny when she didn't know what he was going through. Becca befriends the other women in town. They all love arts and crafts like her. The kids are wonderful. Becca teaches second grade, so she's extra sad to learn these kids don't have a proper school. Everyone makes a big event out of the annual Christmas tree raising. The men cut down a large tree, they decorate it, and get it set up. The restaurant's extra busy for the rest of the month because everyone comes by to see the tree. As I said, it is the only restaurant in town. It's not like these people can go anywhere else. Halfway through the book, Becca calls Doug and tells him the truth about what's happening. He's not happy, and I don't blame him. He planned to propose as soon as she got back from Thanksgiving break, only to learn she lied to him about her holiday plans, and now she's living with her ex-boyfriend for a month. And yet the book treats Doug like the villain of the situation for not understanding her, so she dumps him. Becca wastes no time in resuming intimate relations with Denny. They engage in adult activities constantly. It is a marathon love fest. Even though her leg is so badly injured, she can't ride in the back of a car for an hour. I'm a book reviewer, not a doctor, but I don't think this is the smart choice for Becca's physical health. Occasionally, Becca takes breaks to admire the town and its wonderful citizens. She helps her friends deliver meals to people in need. There is talk about Becca going home for Christmas, but a terrible snowstorm blocks her exit. She realizes this town is now her home. She will live with Denny and be the new school teacher. The end. Post-book follow-up. I was curious about the Netflix series advertised on the book's cover. It turns out that Becca is not in the series. Denny is in the series, as is the couple that owns the restaurant. Becca did not make the cut. Becca calls her mom every 2 chapters or so. Her mom is arguably a more developed character than Becca. Like Denny and some of the others, you can tell she was in previous books in the series. The inside flap says this is book 6. The internet agrees it is book 14. I didn't like this romance novel much. I would have stopped reading it if I wasn't doing a review. Becca is too much of a lying manipulator at the start, and while Denny is a nice guy under his gruff exterior, He doesn't have much personality beyond good looking. Towards the end, Becca makes meatloaf for 40 people, even though the house only has 5 people. Her defense is that she was just following the recipe. That strikes me as dumb. Why make a recipe for 40 people when you have less than half of half that many people around? As for the Christmas elements, they're fine. It's definitely a Christmas romance novel, not a romance novel with Christmas tacked onto it. The charm of the town and their old-fashioned country values were good. Like other cozy series I've read, this town is practically a character by itself. Overall, I would recommend it only if it sounds like something you'd be interested in. If you're not interested in it, I don't think this book is good enough to win you over. Even if you're a fan of cozy romances, prepare yourself for some swearing and a lot of adult activities. The romance angle pretty much comes to a halt in the second half because Becca and Denny don't talk much, all they do is adult activities, leaving Becca's interactions with the town to carry the plot. I give Virgin River number 14, Bring Me Home for Christmas, a 2 out of 10.